You're watching the Battered Fans Network.
Welcome, everybody, to episode number 7 of the Battered Heat Fans Podcast. I'm your host, Daniel Gannon, and alongside me, as always, Daniel Solana. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, man. This time change is killing me. Time change is killing me. My son woke up extra early this morning, so I'm extra hyped after that late night game and ready to talk a little bit about the Heat.
I actually like this. I feel a little more because we do this early in the mornings. And I'm a morning person, so I'm usually energetic in the morning, but feel even more energetic because I got like an extra hour. But with that said, the Heat last night, I've seen a lot of Twitter talk about how the offense was anemic for the second game in a row. I disagree, just because I felt like the free throws were horrible. They were shooting terribly from three, and they still managed to score 120 points. So if you shoot that bad from three, you miss that many free throws, and you still manage to score 120 points, the offense isn't as anemic as it seems. It seems like they're still going to be one of the highest scorers teams, no matter who's playing. But overall, a disappointing game and a lot to get to. I don't know where you want to start on this because this is the second loss in a row. We knew that the West Coast trip was going to be tough. It's just as you're living through it, it sucks. But you kind of figured that they were going to have a rough run here such season, especially without Norman Powell and Tyler Hero.
Absolutely. I mean, it's rumored that Norman Powell is going to start today against the Clippers.
He's not missing that game.
So yeah, that's what I think too. Against his old team, right? He needs to play that game. But
Sure.
Mentioning the Lakers game, I mean, the Heat shot 51.2%. So it's not like the offense was anemic. Where they really had trouble was in the 3-pointers. They were 9 of 33. Only 27%. And you mentioned it on the free throws. They missed 11 free throws, only shot 69.4%. So, look, other than that, they played pretty good. I would say the biggest issue for them was the fact that they didn't get as many field goals up as they normally get in this fast-paced offense, right? Normally, they were averaging, I think it was around 92, 93 field goals a game. They only got 84 up. So that's 8 field goals that they would normally get up in the game that they didn't get up. So I just think that made a big difference in the final score, knowing that, we only lost by 10 points. And had we made a couple of threes, a couple of free throws, it could have been a different story.
I think one thing that is going to be an issue for the Heat, as long as Tyler Hero and Norman Powell are out, the players that are bringing the ball up, like Davion Mitchell, for example. When you're not or Jaime Jaquez, which is really like the ball handler right now, right? We go as he goes. When they're not a threat to shoot from three, I think that's going to be troublesome because, for example, those two players bringing up the ball, this is the 6th game of the season. There's film now, and on top of there being film, right? We have Norman Powell and Bam Adebayo. Although I enjoyed the breakdown, just telling everybody like this is what we do and this is how it works. And I understand there's film, so everybody knew already. But I was like, Jesus Christ, they're like breaking it down for everybody. But they're bringing it down, and now the very first thing that the Lakers were doing was cutting off that first easy pass. So they're bringing it up. They're playing off of Davion Mitchell or Jaime Jaquez, and Jaime Jaquez doesn't care. You play off him, he's still taking it to the rim. But you're playing off of him. They're saying you can shoot the three. We're not going to let you get that first easy pass. All of a sudden, that slows down the offense just a little bit, right? Because everything's been really quick the first 5 games. But then you cut off that first easy pass, and all of a sudden, okay, now we got to figure this out. Move the ball around, and it slows them down just a bit. And I think that's why we put up just a few less shots, and that's why we had a little bit of a harder time than we've had in the past on offense. Now, with that said, though, I'm just going to say, Jaime Jaquez does not care that you play off of him. He is like he's just put his head down and just run to the rim, and it's been really fun to watch him play this year so far.
Absolutely. I mean, he's the Heat's leading scorer last night with 31 points. He literally looked like he was a horse running the Kentucky Derby. And some of those plays, he just, would put his blinders on, drive straight to the hoop, and 9 out of 10 times he got a foul call or he got an and one. So look, he's been fantastic this season, right? He's been fantastic. Where the Heat have struggled is finding scoring other than their main players, right? Bam's going to get you 15, 20 points. Wiggins is going to get you 15, 20 points. But where else is the points going to come from? And that's something that you and I talked off the air last night, right? I was scared because not scared, but I was worried. Worried is the better word because we didn't have Davion Mitchell putting up 15 points like he normally did. Nikola Jovic had a rough game. Simone Fontecchio had a rough game, only having 9 points. So I was, worried as where the Heat were going to find that extra scoring against the Lakers, who we know could score the ball at will as well with Luka Doncic and with Austin Reeves, who have been fantastic together throughout the season.
Luka Doncic had 29 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists, had a triple double, 3 steals, and his game is so interesting to watch because his change of pace is crazy because he looks like he's moving almost in slow motion, and then he'll hit you with a quick step and end up right in front of the rim with a layup. And he even caught Bam on one of those where I think that's the first time I've ever seen Bam look like that, where he almost looked like he might trip the way his feet got caught under him when Luka got past him. Luka, it's frustrating that the Lakers ended up with this guy because it's like the Lakers just always end up with that guy. And but yeah, Luka looked really good last night. Austin Reeves, I didn't think he had 26 also, 26 points, 4 rebounds, 11 assists. This is looking too. And LaRavia, I don't even know who this guy was before yesterday.
Nobody did.
And he ended up with 25 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 steals. And then I think everybody kind of figured what was going to happen when you see Jackson Hayes all of a sudden get off to a hot start. So much so that Khalil Ware got almost like thrown to the back of the bench. And he ended up coming back on, but I think it's because the Heat were desperate because they needed to get something going and they wanted to see. But when the second half starts and Khalil Ware isn't out there with the starters and it's Jaime Jaquez instead, I think that says a lot about the way Khalil Ware is playing this season and how he's fitting into this offense. Because if you're not picking and rolling with him and he's not rolling to the basket, I don't know where he fits in this system. Right, as of right now, it doesn't look good.
Well, he has to continue to develop that three-point shot, right? I think it's important in Spo's system that every player that's on the floor can hit a three consistently, at least at that 30% clip. So it's going to be extremely important for him to continue developing his outside game while he continues to find ways to impact the game in and game out. So right now, he's having a tough time. At the beginning of the season, first couple games, he played fantastic. So I think as this team continues to develop, as they come up with as they mature their offense throughout the season, I think you'll see Khalil Ware start to come into his own. I also think that yesterday's game was a big mismatch. Jackson Hayes is a very athletic big man, and we all know as Khalil Ware is somewhat athletic, he has a tough time covering those fast centers, and that's exactly what Jackson Hayes, like you said, he got off to a hot start, had 11 points, I think, in that first quarter, even hit a 3, didn't even miss a shot, and look, unfortunately, that conditioned Khalil Ware to go to the bench because the Heat needed to go small. It's something that, again, we talked about off air, and we mentioned, I mentioned it to you. I thought the Heat were going to play a lot of small ball. I thought we were going to see a lot more of Simone Fontecchio. Unfortunately, we got to see a lot more of Nikola Jovic last night with him playing 28 points, but he didn't have that big of an impact on the game. So as Spo continues to tweak his system, his lineup, his rotation, I think we're going to continue to see some growing pains over the next few games.
If Khalil Ware is going to struggle against athletic big men, he's going to struggle a lot because I feel like in today's NBA, all the big men are athletic. Fontecchio.
Well, remember that they have I forget his name now, but they had the guy that was the center for Portland last year, and he would have been a perfect big man for Khalil Ware to guard because he's not that big man who steps out.
Oh, DeAndre Ayton.
Line. That's right, Ayton. Sorry. So I think he would have been a fantastic matchup. I think the fact that he was injured and he was out really hurt Khalil Ware because that was a perfect matchup for him. Now we'll see when they face the Clippers. They have Zubac, right?
Yeah.
We'll see if that's a better matchup for Khalil Ware. It's a more traditional style center, and it could be a much more better matchup for Khalil Ware.
Fontecchio or Simone, I forgot what it was that you called him, that he's wet.
Simone Bagnata.
There we go. 2 for 8 from 3. Now, the thing with Fontecchio is obviously he's shown that he's He's better than we thought, right? I didn't think this guy would crack the rotation, to be honest with you. But man, like he is not shy to shoot him. He got in. He shot up 3 threes in a row. And I feel like he's releasing the ball before he even catches it. Like it's coming. And he's like, I'm shooting this shit. Like he is he is on his way to shoot it as he's catching it. And I remember when he missed the first one, I said, all right, missed the second one. I was like, wow, I'm surprised. He's been on fire so far. He caught the third one and let that thing rip immediately again. I was like, Jesus Christ, man. Like my understanding is that this offense is based off of reads. Give yourself a second to read, but he is just shooting it. Now, luckily on that third one, he got fouled. So he ended up with 3 free throws, but he is, he's feeling himself a little bit. And again, last night was not one of his best nights.
No, definitely wasn't one of his best nights, but he's definitely buying into Spo's system where it's let it fly, right? We've heard about this in the past where Spo has told certain players within his teams, hey, you can let it fly whenever you want. And I believe he's given Simone Fontecchio, I believe he's given everybody on the team the green light to go ahead and take the shot if you're open. Now, the issue with Fontecchio is on a couple of those shots that he put up,
he wasn't
in the first quarter, he wasn't open. He just took the shot while he was covered. So I think he needs to, like you said, maybe relax a little bit. Maybe take an Ambien. Maybe take something to relax during the games and not be so I guess hyped up.
Eager.
You're just gonna put up shots even if you're covered. So we need to take those threes, but we need to take them when we have the correct shot, not just because you get the ball and you're behind the 3-point line.
So just to wrap up the player stats, and then we'll move on. Drew Smith ended up with almost 17 minutes. I thought he did a great job. He came in and immediately stripped Luka Doncic. He took that tough assignment. He is that's what he's here for. He's here for that defensive prowess that he has. Donovan Mitchell, 8 points, 8 assists, only 1 turnover. He's protecting the ball. I'd love to see that. 1 for 1 from 3. Pelle Larsson, we haven't talked about, had a big game also. 17 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 6 for 10 from the field, 1 for 4 from 3. But I thought Pelle Larsson was doing a great job cutting to the rim, and he looked really good last night also.
Absolutely. I mean, he's a player who we know has been continuously developing within the Heat system over the last couple of years. We've seen him over certain stretches get hot and, have these kind of scoring outputs when given the opportunity. This is his 3rd straight game that he starts, and he's showing that he can be a key piece in this Erik Spoelstra system. He's been fantastic this year, and I hope he continues to play that way, especially when Norman Powell and Tyler Hero come back. We know his minutes are going to probably decrease, but hopefully not that much. Hopefully he continues to crack the rotation and continues to show what he has in his arsenal, because so far he's done a fantastic job.
I agree. Andrew Wiggins, 15 points on 16 shots. Definitely not efficient. And Bam Adebayo, 17 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. He only took 5 threes as compared to the 13 that he took against San Antonio. So all in all, again, the missed free throws, the horrible 3-point shooting. And I don't want to talk bad about Jaime, because Jaime, as he goes, our team seems to go. But if you're going to be that aggressive going to the rim and get that many free throws, you got to hit him. Like he was 9 for 13. You got to shoot at least 80%, Jaime. If he would have made an extra 2, I understand it doesn't make a huge difference in the final score, but he's got to start hitting more consistently. But yeah, man, it felt like the way the game started, right? They got off to an 8-0 lead, the Lakers, and it felt like that was the game, right? 8-0, and then it was try to catch up, cut it to within 4 or 2, and then drop back, and then back down by double digits. And it felt like that was just the game all over, and they just could never climb that last hump to finally tie the game.
Yeah, it's tough when you give up that many points so early in the first quarter and you're chasing for the rest of the game, right? It's especially against a team who has someone like Luka Doncic, who can essentially create for himself at any point in the game, anywhere on the floor. He can score from anywhere. He can pass the ball. He has fantastic vision. So when you dig yourself a hole so early into the game and you force yourself to then climb back, it makes it tough. And I'm not surprised that the Heat lost. I'm not even mad, Danny. I'm not mad that the Heat lost. They're still 3-3. We're still on this West Coast swing. 2 more games, one against the Clippers tonight. Then we have Denver, if I'm not mistaken, on Wednesday. And look, man, it's gonna be an up and down season for this team as they continue to figure out this new system. And for the fans, all I can tell you is, just continue to support, continue to show your support for this team, and they're gonna surprise us come the end of this year. I have a feeling.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, 10-10. I know that after we had a 2-game win streak and all of a sudden I got excited with 3-game. 10-10. That's the goal at the end of 20, and we'll end up top 4. I'm telling you. One last thing, I want to talk about the Lakers, and then we'll move on and talk quickly about the Clippers tonight, and then we'll call it a show. I really missed the Lakers being traditional and wearing yellow at home. Since I was a kid, at home, Lakers are wearing yellow, on the road purple. That was it. I think it's really weird that they've started just wearing white. Just a random thought that I had while I was watching the game last night. Like, the Magic, the Kobe's and Shaqs, like, if you're playing in LA, I just felt like it feels right to watch them young. And I don't care about the Lakers. I'm not a Laker fan, and I don't give a shit about them. But I don't know. It just seeing them wear that white jersey. I remember it was cool the first time they brought it in the late 2000s, I think it was, when they introduced this white jersey. Man, they got to go back to the yellow at home.
I agree. I thought it was awkward. I think it's weird. It's not something that I'm used to. But maybe it's something that the new generation is used to, because that's what they've seen over the last few years, right? They've seen the Lakers wear white at home. But I agree with you, Danny. I think they need to go back to the gold and purple at home, and it's just history, right? It's just the way that things should be. And as much as I love all these new uniforms that the teams are coming up with, some are really cool. I think that for some teams, the historical aspect matters a lot more, and I think that they should.
The Lakers, yeah,
exactly. So I think when they come and make these different jerseys for them, they should think about the historical aspect and keep it in line with something like that. At least that's my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I remember I had a cousin my father had a cousin that lived in LA. I remember he brought me a Nick Van Exel jersey back in the day.
Oh, number 2,
number 9.
Oh, number 9.
But I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I remember the yellow jerseys to me. It screams Laker to me, and I don't know. It's the whole white thing isn't working.
I've only owned one jersey that wasn't a Miami Heat jersey my entire life, and that was a number 4 Chris Webber
Kings?
Sacramento Kings jersey. I still have it. It's in my room. I'm gonna give it to my son when he's old enough. But that's the only other jersey I've ever bought. It's not a Miami Heat jersey my entire life.
See, the NBA is the only sport that I, at some point, I think when I got into high school, like it didn't become about teams anymore, and it's the only sport for some reason. But I think it's because it's so easy to see the players and they get promoted so well that I was more like a player person. So I used to be obsessed with just following players. I used to love Allen Iverson, Tracy McGrady, Jason Kidd. So I had a lot of different jerseys from a lot of different teams. As I got older, then I started, getting away from that. But when I was in high school and maybe my couple of years of college, I used to really follow players a lot. But yeah, so I got a lot more than just one like you.
Oh, you're that guy. You're that guy that I can't stand. It's all right.
Well, not anymore. But I had tons of jerseys. I used to love. Dude, you didn't like Allen Iverson?
I loved Allen Iverson. I had his shoes, but I wasn't going to spend money on buying a jersey.
Oh no, I loved Allen Iverson, especially the jersey that they brought back this year, the black one with the big Sixers.
It's nice. Although I like the white one with the big Sixers in the front.
Yeah,
the white one to me is the classic one.
Yeah, that one's nice also. But yeah, all right, enough about that. So this was the starting lineup last night, but Khalil Ware got 11 minutes or 11 and change. You think that he's going to be on the starting lineup very much longer?
Yes, I do. I think Spo is very adamant that he wants to get him in the minutes at the beginning of the game. He wants to see how he can impact the game at the beginning and see if he can impact it positively. And if he can, he'll give him more minutes. But if he doesn't, then he'll have to go small ball and use Bam at the 5, which we've seen more often this season. So look, I think it doesn't really matter who starts, Danny. I think it really matters who finishes. And Spo is going to continue to test these lineups out, especially tonight, right? They play against the Clippers. They play against Zubac. And that's somebody who I want Khalil Ware to get an opportunity, right? John Collins is more of a Bam cover. He's more of a Bam-like player. But Zubac is a bigger traditional center.
But you can't put Andrew Wiggins on John Collins, is what I'm saying. So you kind of need
Oh
both
no,
of them out there.
absolutely.
But I did find this lineup interesting when it started the second half. Jaime out there with the starters was interesting to me. But
He
yeah, all
didn't
right.
slow
So
down. That's what was interesting. He didn't slow
yeah,
down at all.
he doesn't, man. Jaime is becoming very fun to watch. Next 5 games tonight: Clippers, Wednesday Nuggets. Then we have 4 games in a row at home, but we got 3 up on the screen. We got the Hornets at home, then back to back the Trailblazers on Saturday at home, and then we have 2 Cleveland Cavalier games. The first one being next Monday. So this West Coast trip ends on Wednesday. If we can, and I told you, I think we get one of the next 3. We already lost against the Lakers. If we can get one against the Clippers and the Nuggets, and I think it'll be tonight against the Clippers, we go home 4-4 with the Hornets and the Trailblazers coming up. I'm feeling pretty good. What do you say?
I mean, we'll have to see what happens tonight, Danny. I think it's going to be key to win one of these next 2 games. Even though you'll finish the road trip 1-3, it's a very, very tough road trip. You're playing against, or you played against probably the best team in the NBA, as of today in the Spurs. You played against one of the best players in the NBA, Luka Doncic. And then tonight you have James Harden and company. And then on Wednesday you have Jokic. So I mean, it's been a really rough road trip at the beginning of the season. Something that while it's good that you get it over with early, I feel like they might not go 2-2 or they might even go 0-4. Danny, it doesn't matter. I don't think it matters this road trip. I think what they're learning is a lot of camaraderie. We've seen them, sing Spo happy birthday. We've seen Spo do the Santa Monica steps with the assistant coaches. We've seen all this camaraderie that the team is forming as they go on this West Coast trip. So I'm not really concerned with the record or what's happening. I'm more concerned with what's happening within the games. And I feel like in both games, the Heat showed enough, wherewithal to win both games if they make a few more shots. And so, again, I'm not worried. I think the Heat are okay. They look like they're back into their scoring ways. And I'm just excited for that homestand because I'll finally get to go to a couple games. I did sell those first 3 games, but I will be at that Wednesday, November 12th, Cleveland Cavalier game. So
I'll be there also.
excited. Perfect. We'll see each other there.
Yeah, I'll be there also. And I know it's early in the season to look at the standings, but looking at the Western Conference standings, 1-6, we don't play the Thunder. But to start the season, team number 2 is the Spurs. We played them already. Team number 3, the Lakers. We just played them. Team number 4, the Trailblazers. Play them on Saturday. Team number 5, the Clippers. Play them tonight. Team number 6, the Nuggets. We play them on Wednesday. So, I mean, this is why we said the start of the season, if we can get by the first 20 games, 10-10, we should feel good because it was a really, really tough schedule. Not to mention the fact that we have Cleveland, which is supposed to be the top team in the East, twice next week. And then we have the Knicks 2 more times in the next couple of weeks also, which the Knicks have luckily slowed down a little bit, but they're still a very good team. So let's see, man. The first 20 games, I'm telling you, crucial.
I mean, we'll see what happens. Maybe after the first 13 games, they might be 6-7. We'll see. I don't know.
Wow. On that note, if you're listening on audio, we appreciate you listening to the end. Please leave us a comment and 5 stars. If you're watching on YouTube, like, and if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And we will be back. Oh, you think we're ever going to play against LeBron James again? I rock my LeBron James jersey.
I hope he plays a home game here, so that way I can watch him one last time. I'm going to take my son to the Lakers game this year. He asked me especially. I don't know, man. He might be tired, man. He might be tired. He loves to come down to South Beach and go out to live and do all this crazy stuff, and then sit out the game so that we can chant LeBron is tired.
I mean, his contract's up after this year, so we'll see. I don't know. I've dealt with sciatica since I was 30. So
how weird is it to see his son get minutes while he watches him from sitting on the bench?
Yeah, and he caught his first points of the year last.
I know, unbelievable.
Yeah. All right. So again, we appreciate everybody hanging out with us, and we'll be back tomorrow talking about the Clippers. So until the next one, have a good one.